Hello everybody. I am in the back of my truck. I got my electric blanket on, as you can see. Got my electric blanket on. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm in the back of my truck. I've got the blackout curtain here. I just have a blanket hung up on the tailgate part of it. I got a blackout curtain here, and then here I just have like a black towel on the back window. Anyway, so I'm inside my truck. I'm inside my sleeping bag. I've got the electric blanket here, my sleeping bag, and of course I got my one quilt. Top quilt. We got the Jackery to plug in my electric blanket. I can also plug in my phones, and I also can plug in some electrical outlets here if I need to. And so I got that. But I got my blanket on right now, getting all cozy up and everything. I also just have these Lucy lights that put up quite a good light. And then I have this one here. It also puts up some pretty good light. Right now I have it off, but I'm just using my Lucy light, and of course I have a light at the end of my trailer camper here. So, and I do have the Stanley Fat Max 700 350 amp. I could also plug in some things here if I need to. If I need some more things, I can plug into there. But as of right now, this is just my backup. I'm using the Jackery right now because it's still at 75%, so it's good. So I just want to talk a little bit about some stuff. We're going to have, we'll call this girl talk or whatever. Hold on a minute. So, this is nice and comfy in here. But I got to figure out how to put my little light so I can see, or so you can see. Anyway, get me all covered up in here. So, let me see which way would be better to put my light. Straight down. Oh, okay. All right, we'll do it this way. All right, so we're just going to have a little bit of girl talk. As you've seen in a couple of my other videos, or a video before this one, I fixed up the back of the pickup truck, our Nissan Frontier, so that while my husband's having heart surgery, that I could just sleep in the back of the truck while he's in the hospital, because it's quite a ways from where we live. And so my plan was to fix up the truck. Of course, I had my, jet broiler. I had a whole bunch of Mountain House meals, some oatmeal, some coffees. So I had plenty of food. I had plenty of, as far as heat goes, I have my little heater in here if I need to. Again, my electric blanket and everything. So the plan was to come in here and kind of save me from running back and forth from the hospital. So I'm thinking I'll just sleep in the parking deck and all will be well. So while he was in surgery, it was only supposed to be 4 to 5 hours surgery is what the doctor had told us at the beginning. He said it's only going to be like 4 to 5 hours surgery. And so we're like, okay. So once I took him into the hospital, and they had to do the pre-procedure stuff. So we arrived at the hospital like at 4:30 in the morning. And I found a nice spot. As you can see in my other video, I found a nice spot on the parking deck, which was close to the elevator. So it wasn't too far away. But yet I felt like, and I parked where if I need to open up the back of the hatch here, there was like an opening in the wall. So I had a breeze if I would need it. And so I felt, that was a good thing. And, I thought I'm all set. I got my blackout windows. I got my warmth. I got my food. So I wasn't worried about anything. So after he went in for surgery, or after like I said, we got here at 4:30 in the morning. I went in the hospital with him. And, of course, we had to do the check-in procedures and stuff. So I went in to the hospital with him. Just sit up this way. So I went into the hospital with him, and we did the sign-in, the registration, and then we took him to where he had to go get shaved, for the operation and everything. So we went there, and it was kind of funny to watch the girls shaving. First, they only had one nurse come in, and he is very, very hairy. So it was kind of funny, but just as a side note, at one of our family reunions, he came in second place for having the hairiest chest. So that's how hairy he is. But anyways, that's funny. So the nurse comes in, and she thinks she's just going to shave him, so that she, for the surgery and everything. So she's starting to shave him and everything. Well, time's ticking because, they have to do this by this time and do this by this time and, put in IVs and all this kind of stuff. Well, she realized how hairy this guy was. So they had to call in two other nurses. So there was three of them in there trying to shave him up and get him all ready for surgery, which I just thought was hilarious. I just thought that was just hilarious. But the girls were really, they were very friendly, and I think they were trying to make, have a good, get him kind of in a good mood or whatever, because they were laughing, joking with him, and all was well. But anyway, so they did that. And after they did that, and then the anesthesia guy came, and they said he had, put the IVs in and everything. And so once they wheeled him out to go to the anesthesia, that's when I left, because I couldn't go with him in anesthesia anyway. So I gave him my phone number, and we're at that time where everybody either has to wait in the parking lot, wait in your cars while they have surgery, because they're not letting people really staying into the waiting rooms. So your choices are, kind of wait in the car, and they would call you and give you updates and stuff. So that was another reason why I thought I'll just stay in the parking deck and sleep. So once they wheeled him out to take him to anesthesia, I did go back out to the truck. And this is still pretty early in the morning. By this time, it might be 5:30ish, going on 6. But anyways, it's still pretty early in the morning. So I come out, and I'm pretty tired because, like I said, we had to get up early even to be down at the hospital that early. So I'm getting pretty tired, and I come out to the truck, and then I just, I fix my bed. As you can see in my other video, I fix my bed, and I try to sleep. So as I'm in there sleeping, of course, I'm tossing and turning. My mind's going a million miles an hour. And so as I'm in there and I'm sleeping, and just as I get into a good sleep, someone would lock their car and you'd hear that beep, beep, that beep, 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 whatever, So that would startle me and I'd wake up. And then I'd toss and turn and I'd get into another good Z. And then you'd hear car slamming or another car alarm, the old click of the car keychain. And so this went on the whole day practically. But anyway, the whole time. So I didn't get very much sleep at all. It was very noisy. You could hear the cars going by, back and forth. And I noticed even as people were walking past me, as they were walking like past where my truck was, I could literally hear their conversation the whole way from their car till they walked to the elevator. So I'm thinking, oh man, if I can hear them, they could probably hear me. And I'm in here, doing a video and trying to rest and stuff, something. And man, they could probably hear me because I can hear them. So I finally did get enough Z's. Well, we'll just say I got some Z's. I got a little bit. But like I said, I kept getting woken up by cars going in and out, horns blowing all the time, people walking past talking. And then, of course, the hospital would call me and give me updates like how he was doing in surgery and stuff. So, that was waking me up and everything, which I was glad to have the updates. So there's that. But when it was closer to like 4.5 hours, I decided to, of course, I already ate my breakfast, and I decided to go into the hospital because I'm thinking he's only got like a half an hour left. Well, I go into the hospital, and they told me that I could go in and wait because they should have been done it for 4 to 5 hours. Well, it ended up being 6 hours in surgery. So I was like, oh man, 6 hours. I mean, now I'm starting to panic because why is it taking 6 hours? But then they called me and they told me, the doctor will be down in like 15 minutes to come talk to me and tell me about the surgery that he was just finishing up. So they finished up and I went into the conference room, and the doctor did talk to me and tell me how things went and everything. And so I was relieved about that. And then after his surgery, I was allowed to go up to the CU unit. It was like CU VU or something like that, or something like CCVU, or I don't know, whatever the initials were. So I went up to see him, and of course he was still out of it, and he said that he wasn't going to wake him up out of the anesthesia yet. He was going to let him kind of wake up on his own or something, but I could still go up and talk to him for like 15 minutes, and that's it. Like 10 to 15 minutes is all they wanted me to talk to him. And even the nurse said, he's not going to really know if I was there or not, but she says, it's good to see him and let him know. He can kind of hear me anyway. So I got to talk to him for just a few minutes, and then I came back out to the truck, and of course I called my family and gave them the update of, what the doctor had said and everything. And I seriously thought about just sleeping in the truck, and because then, the doctor did tell me, he says, call before I come in tomorrow because he may not be out of the C unit. And if he's in that unit, I only get to see him like 20 minutes certain times. Like there was like 10 to 10, 20, 1 to 1:20, 3 to 3:20, and 5 to 5:20 were the only visitation hours. And so he told me call before I come in because he may not be up to visitors yet. Back out to the truck, and as I'm making my phone calls and I'm talking to everybody and giving the family the update, my daughter, she's like, Mom, you should not be sleeping in the parking deck. And I told her, I said, I felt kind of safe in the parking deck. I mean, it is noisy. I'm not getting a lot of sleep, I'll tell you that. But I am in a parking deck, so it's in a big city. And she's like, and it's definitely really not in a good neighborhood. And she was giving me the old, it's not in a good neighborhood, you shouldn't be out there. And I'm by myself. It'd be different if I was with, because he would be my if I had my husband and our dog with us, he's my security guard or whatever, security person. And with me being by myself, she just was having a cow about it. And so she's like, oh, you could get your hotel and everything. Well, I thought about it, kicked it around. So she talked me into going home. It's about to die on me. Okay, so my daughter called. I talked to my daughter after I went up to see him and got to see him after surgery and everything. So I talked to the family members, and she talked me out of staying in the truck. So I am going to go home. I'm not going to stay in the truck. I am going to go home and get a good night's sleep, maybe get some sleep, and then call in the morning, see what the doctor says, and then come back and see him again. But the plan was to stay here so I didn't have to go back and forth, but my daughter has talked me into going home. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself out of here and just head home and get some sleep, and then we'll see what goes on from there. So see you later. Bye-bye. I'm going to get out of here and go home. So I'm going to get out of the truck and I'm going to go home. But I just want to let you know about taking your windows down from the back and the front, or else you were not going to be able to see. So I'll talk to you later about some other things. That's all for now. Bye. Okay, just as a note to self, I want to talk about this a little bit. When I'm in the back of the truck, I can literally turn this up. I can turn this up like that, and then I can get out and in. And the only problem is I really don't see here. I can just lift this up, and as you can see the handle, it moves this handle here. You can see it opens and shuts, opens and shuts. But it's not a very good security thing. Another thing I want to mention is when you're parking in the parking garage and after you leave, you want to make sure you take that front window down and the back window down, because when you're driving down the road, you cannot see anything. Another thing before I get out of my truck, I want to tell you, these socks here, these are very comfortable. These are like footy thingies. I put them on, and you can see how thick they are inside. These I got for Christmas, and they are just they kept my feet nice and warm. I love that. Keeps my feet nice and warm, so that was a good thing. But anyway, I'm going to get out of the truck and I'm going to get out of here and go home. Hello everybody. I'm at home, but I want to kind of tell my story a little bit. I just ran up the stairs, now I'm out of breath. Okay. Well, my husband was in having surgery. He had open heart surgery. And my plan was to stay down there with him. And I had the truck set up and had it ready for me with those intentions to stay down there all week with him. Had enough food. I had my jet boiler. I had plenty of food, coffee. I had my electric blanket, sleeping bag, my One Wind top quilt. So plenty warm. I had the Jackery. I also had the Stanley Fat Max. I had a heater. So I was prepared as far as that was prepared. You know, I had my electric vest on if I needed it. So as far as being prepared to stay, I was prepared for that. But when reality kicked in, and after I was at the hospital all day long, and I did stay in the truck, I cooked some meals in there, waited. I did get to see him in the ICU, or not ICU, but it was CUVU or something like that. Critical, I don't know. I got to see him for like 15 minutes. Talked to the doctor, how surgery went. And his 4 to 5 hour surgery ended up being a 6-hour surgery. But we talked to the doctor. He explained why that was. I explained it to family. But anyway, he's doing fine now. And when I went back to the truck to spend the night in the truck, in the parking garage, of course I was calling my family members and I was telling them all the details of how the surgery went and how he was doing. And the doctor told me I needed to call tomorrow before I come down, or before I come in, because he may not be up to visitors yet, and so forth. So my daughter actually talked me into going home instead of staying in the parking deck. And even though I felt like I was totally prepared to stay in the parking deck, when reality kind of kicked in, I decided to come home because, I mean, I was prepared as far as heat. I would have been warm enough. I had enough food, but it was the security thing. I didn't feel very secure in the parking garage. I could hear, plus I was not getting very much sleep in the parking garage at all. You hear every car coming in and out. Every time they lock the cars or unlock the cars, their vehicles, you hear that beep sound. I could hear the people talk as they were going by me. So I'm thinking, if I can hear them, they could probably hear me in here talking, because I was talking. I was making a video. I was talking on the phone. I was watching videos. So I felt like I definitely wasn't being stealthy. I was right under some security lamps, which I felt when I went in, and I even tried to tell my daughter this. I've got 2 security cameras, right? One on this side of the truck of me, and one was on the other side of the truck. And I said, so there's security cameras. I felt like I was kind of safe, because I'm sure they saw me get in and out of the back of my truck. And I felt like if they didn't want me to be there, they would have came and told me. And so I kind of felt like I had a little bit of security there. And the most they could have said was, I need to leave. And I would have left. But the place where the parking deck was definitely was not in a very good neighborhood. Okay, it's a big city. When you're in a big city in a parking garage, it's already a big city. You know how big cities are. We're not the only big city. So you know how big cities can be. And it definitely, we didn't feel like it was in a safe neighborhood. And my daughter was talking to me, and she's like, you know, there may be security cameras, but I didn't really see any security guards or anything like that, so I don't know. But anyhow, I just felt like once it started really getting dark or getting really late, maybe that's when things happen, because you hear the police cars going back and forth all the time, and that kind of was like, oh, they're pretty busy out there. But with that all being said, I didn't have the security in me. I didn't feel myself. And you got to go with your gut feeling. I was in an area that, you know, I'm really not familiar with this area at all. Even though I felt like I was prepared with the physical stuff, the mental stuff I wasn't prepared with. So you got to go with your gut feeling. I just felt like it was not a safe place, and people could come and go in the parking garage at all hours of the night, and I don't know. And my tailgate doesn't really, it locks from the outside with a key. I can lock it from the outside, but while I'm inside there, I don't really have a locking system yet, which is something we're going to work on. We're going to work on where we can lock something, like even if I have to put like maybe a padlock thing where we can put it down and lock it when we're in the inside, would be better. So that's something I need to look into. But you have to go with your gut feeling. And I was overly tired anyway. And I didn't really like being by myself. And my daughter talked me into just coming on home. You know, she said she would feel safer knowing that I was at home. And she would feel more comfortable if I was at home. So I did. I packed it up and I went home. And I did toss and turn, but at least slept more than I probably would have in the pickup truck. And then I went back over to the hospital. And then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can still do it. But again, I'm not recommending sleeping in a parking garage. That is not a place to sleep in. It was okay for a little bit of time, but I would not recommend sleeping in the parking garage. You'd have to know your own limits. You'd have to go with your gut feeling if you felt safe or not. There was just something, like I said, every noise I heard, everybody walking by, I just didn't feel safe. So I did end up going back and forth to the hospital. He was in the hospital for 7 days. I finally got to bring him home. And so he's doing well now. We've got some doctor's appointments he's got to go to back and forth. But as far as parking or sleeping all night in the parking garage, I wouldn't recommend it. I would not. I was thinking it was okay. And I actually have some video of something I'm going to put in. Right here, I'm going to show you something that was just 2 blocks away from this parking garage. So I'm going to put that in right now. It's right here on the corner of the intersection there, going up the road. Oh, they're still camping down in there. Look, they're all the way down.
In 1 mile, keep right to exit 5.
And then you might understand why I did not feel that safe. So I would not suggest sleeping in a parking garage. As my own personal opinion, I didn't feel at ease. And you just got to go with your gut feeling. So even though the thought was I was going to stay the whole week there in the parking garage, it never happened. And I don't want to mislead anybody and make them think I slept there all week. I did not. I ended up going home and then just going back and forth to the hospital. But one thing I did learn is when you leave anytime, no matter where you're camping, if you have the blackout curtains on, make sure you at least take the blackout curtains from your back window, your rear view mirror, where it can look out. So I need the cab removed and the tailgate removed, because I drove home and I didn't have the blackout curtains down, and man, I couldn't see out of my mirror, but I had to use my side mirror, and it was not a good thing. So note to my own self is anytime I'm driving, I need to have those 2 windows at least open while I'm driving, and then when I'm parked, then I can put up my windows. But I'm going to try sleeping in the truck again, another place, another time. But as of right now, I would say, unless I had my husband with me, right now I'm going to say by myself, I definitely would not sleep in a parking garage. All right, well, that's all I got to say for right now. He's doing well. We got a long recovery, and I want to thank everybody for their thoughts and prayers. And maybe now when we go out and do camping videos or whatever, he'll be so much better. The doctor said he will feel so much better. So he needed this surgery. And so I'm looking forward to us, when he gets to recovery 100%, for us to be able to get back out there and do our camping, do our truck camping, our tent camping, our motorcycle riding. We haven't been able to go motorcycle riding because of his health, but they said he'd be able to get back onto that too. So I'm looking forward to those days. So thanks for hanging in there with us, guys, and we'll get back with you as soon as we can. We'll be back out there doing what we can. But I do appreciate all your thoughts and prayers while he was having surgery and for the recovery. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Well, they survived the night watching YouTube on TV.
By the way, everyone, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button. It does help. Also,
She's over there.
Hey, everybody. I love you.
It was a rough one.
If you like Mr. Buddy, give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. If you love your buddy,
Having this kind of surgery is no picnic.
Your family
Goodbye.
has a